Hey, welcome back to the Shade Tree. We are back at it again with the old 55 Willys. Still waiting on parts. We have a lot of little piddly things to do. You know, a new water pump, the push rod for the brakes and the clevis and all that. We did not bench bleed the master cylinder before we put it on, so we're gonna have to do it in the vehicle. No big deal. We'll get it done. We're gonna be doing, I guess, a lot of body work this week. Starting off with cutting these fenders off. Beginning the body work on the inner fenders, getting them right, getting them mounted back on, getting them bolted to the core support here so that everything is where it's supposed to be. We have to make mounts for our core support to the frame. Once we get this front clip in where it's supposed to be, we'll fit the hood on, make sure all the gaps are close. You know, it's not going to be perfect. I told you that before. But we're going to get it close. We'll start working on these fenders as we pound and work them out to a much better shape than what they are now. We will fit them on and make sure that everything's going to fit right. And just probably be doing a lot of pounding, sanding, welding, mudding. So it's not very exciting, but it's got to be done. So I guess that's where we're at with this build. So without further ado, let's get to it, man. And I also want to mention that we are going to be using the original Jeep seats. These things are pretty bad, filled up with rats' nests and whatever. I did start to take one apart, and I've got it cleaned up, primed, got some rust reformer on it. We're just going to take all them nasty coil springs off there and use the backing plates and whatever. We're just going to fill it with memory foam or whatever we can find to put in there to kind of modernize it a little bit. Also got the steering wheel on. Pretty cool. Kind of retro. I like it. And also sometime during this video we're going to have to go out to the S10 box, cut the floor out of it, because we're going to be using the bed of the box in the bed of our Jeep here. A lot of body oriented things going on this week. So let's get to work, man. So there she is. We got a lot of work to do. This is all broken in there. Well, you can see the fender. I mean, yeah. So what I think we'll do is fit this inner fender back on so we can get a measurement, cut this off and extend it so we can bolt it onto our support. Well, we got the inner fenders separated from the outer fenders, and they're a lot worse than I thought they were. This is a patch panel because this was all rotted out here. And these are the two fenders. What in the world am I thinking about? They're so far away from each other that I don't know if we're gonna get it back or not. But I guess we got to try it. I knew we were in for a lot of body work, but man, I'll tell you what. You can see that looks pretty good. This one on this side, I mean, I don't know. Did they have this thing in a demolition derby? I want to say that maybe they did, because I mean, every single part of it is just bent, smashed, broken. I think I'm going to start with the inner fenders and try to get some of this welded up. I took a pretty good shot there. This inner fender on the passenger side isn't too bad as far as being straight. It does have a rot spot where they patched it here. So this side here shouldn't give us half the problems that the driver's side is going to. It is broken here, so that'll have to be worked out and welded. It is broken here, so this will have to be worked out and welded. It ain't gonna get done by sitting here talking about it, so let's do it, man. Alright, we got this one dent way up inside here. Pretty good dent too. In order to get to it, we're going to have to take this piece off. This whole piece has got to come off, get straightened. So, I dare say we're going to be all day on this one inner fender piece. Trying to straighten this out. But, I don't know what else to do, man. I guess we got to do it. You can see better where that crease is right there. So we're going to try to straighten that out. We're going to try to straighten this out and weld her back together, see what happens. Well, fellas, I think I got it about as close as I'm going to get it. Got it opened up again so that it somewhat looks like that side. Not exactly. Like I told you all before, it ain't going to be perfect, but I think we're going to go ahead and weld that and see if we can't get the fit a little better on this side. Well, I'm not sure if it looks any better or not. You can see the fitment. This is bent out. That's why we got to bend that back in, but I think it'll be okay. got that straightened out to look like that one again, somewhat. I guess when we fit that core support on, we're gonna find out how well we did, huh? Next thing I want to do is probably take care of this side, because we got a crack here that needs to be fixed. This has got to come off, and right down in there you can see it's cracked too. Otherwise than that, I'll go over it again with a wire brush. We're going to undercoat the bottom of it, and we're going to paint the inside of it. So that's what she is, fellas. So while I got this thing apart, we should go ahead and paint this firewall too. I've decided to go with white on the top and a emerald green on the bottom. That will be the color scheme for this Willys. I'm gonna do some white vinyl seating, you know, white I don't know what you call it, fake leather. I got a deal on it, like $5 a yard, so we're gonna do the whole inside with white fake leather. Maybe some brown accents that will accent the steering wheel. Maybe some little brown accents on the white door panel. I think will look good. I don't know. It'll work. It'll look a whole lot better than it does now. That's for sure. I'm not even gonna tell you how much time I spent on this one fender, one inner fender. It's embarrassing. Before we pack it in for the night, we should probably go out back and start cutting that bed out of the box, so we can get that ready to go when it comes time to do that fun job back there. So we'll get that cut out of there, and then we'll call it a day. Alright, so last night we went and harvested some of the bed out of the S10. I think we're going to need more though. This is totally rotted here. And this has supports underneath it. So we can just transfer that right to here. So I think we need to harvest more of the back end of it, so to speak, so we can extend it all the way. But I think it'll work for us. Be a little ways off before we reach the back of this thing. Yeah. All right, so here's an update on the battery bracket situation. It is not going to fit in this cavity. The inner fender just is too big, and I really don't want to cut into it, because then we'll have an issue with the wheel. It's too big to fit up here, even if we went without the heater core. So I guess as much as I did want to put it in the back of the Jeep, we might have to. I think once we remove the filler neck from this side over to that side, we will have this cavity here, will probably be housing our battery. We'll build a little enclosure for it. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's probably the best we're going to be able to do. You can put it on this side. This side, I guess it doesn't really matter. But it's going to have to go inside the Jeep. My plans for this are to put wood back down in here, like some oak or something. So I really don't want to put any kind of access panel in the floor. So I'm thinking we build an enclosure over here, and that should do what we need it to do. All right, we got our core support stripped down and bolted in place. We're gonna make brackets to mount it to the frame. I've got these, went through my scrap metal bin. I found these, I want to say they came in a kit that I bought once to mount wood in a bed of a truck. I never used them. I think that's where they came from. Anyway, we're going to use these. I started shaping one. We're going to put it down here and weld it to the core, drill it in that way, and that will secure the front of the radiator core to the frame. So let me get to taking this core back out, welding these pieces in, and we'll get this thing mounted in here. All right, so we got our two brackets welded in. Yes, I know it looks like a third grader did it, but I don't care. It ain't gonna go nowhere, okay? I think what we're gonna do now is bolt this back together so we can get it exactly on the frame where we want it. Drill our holes in the frame so we can put our bolts in, and this thing will be bolted in. And because I think it's going to take forever today to sand all this down, I do have some paint stripper. We're just going to throw these up on the table, body work them where they need to be body worked, get a coat of primer, get a coat of paint on them. Then we can bolt them in for good. It looks like she's been painted a few times during her life. That's 70 years worth of paint. I'll be back when I'm done. All right, well, we got the first scrape down done. As you can see, she's been a few different colors over the years. The green that I bought for this is pretty close to that was on there. Had a little bit of orange on it, some white, some beige. 70 years worth of people painting and painting and painting. So let me go ahead and get the rest of this stripped down, get these fenders stripped down, and we'll get them primed and painted. Well, as you can see, this thing is taking a pretty good shot to this side. I'm going to try to straighten it out the best I can. If we use this side for a comparison, you can see, I'm assuming that this is okay. But you can see, I'm thinking that this is bent in right there, and it's caved in right there. I got this to straighten out a little bit, not much, but we're just going to straighten it out the best we can and go with it, because what else can we do? Well, I don't know that we moved it all that much, but it looks somewhat straighter. So I was just trying to kick this bottom out, which will kick this over. But let me keep working on this and see if we can't get a little better. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it is a whole lot straighter than it was. Had to get the BFH after it, but it did pull away, so we're gonna have to weld that back up. I think that's probably about the best I'm going to be able to get it. We also have to patch this. I'm not really sure what it was, but we're going to patch it because we don't need it, whatever it was. We don't need it. Went and stripped the paint off this, started sanding on it, and let me tell you what, it is in bad shape. She got holes here, she got holes here. These got to get patched anyway, but it's dented. We worked this out the best we could. Cut it off right about here and try to make a new panel for this. I think the other side isn't as bad, but still as bad. So we got a good whammo right there. And then of course the bottom is rotted out. Do the same thing. Make a panel for the bottom. Use one of these as a pattern and make 2 new lower cowl panels. And this is it's gonna be a long process, fellas. We haven't even gotten to the bad stuff yet. And we're just doing all this just so we can bolt the fenders back on. And speaking of which, I have no idea what these fenders are supposed to look like. So I went online and found a couple of pictures that we can use. I think that's about the best we're going to get that. Pulled it out quite a bit. The old slide hammer did the trick. Alright, so I want to make a pattern from the other side, which is more complete than this side. Make a patch panel. The only thing that's going to give us a problem is this here. I don't believe I can recreate something like that. Let's see what the other side looks like. Yeah, this side is a little more complete. Let's go ahead and cut this out. And we'll get our brake set up and see what we can do with it. Alright, we got our brake set up. I've never used one of these before. I've used a aluminum brake to wrap houses and stuff like that, but this is new to me. This is a cheap one. This is I think this is an Amazon special. 36-inch V-bore. I don't know if any of you guys have dealt with that, but the way this operates is you clamp the metal in here and use these clamps to clamp it down and then make your bend. So we'll see how that goes. I got 2 sheets of the 18 gauge and gonna make a 3/4 inch lip. We want to bend it in a 90. So this first go around is going to be like an experiment, so y'all can watch and make fun. Well, the edge isn't very sharp, but that could be user error on my part. Alright, I put this in the vise, tried to bend the corner a little crisper, but yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't know, maybe that thing doesn't handle 18 gauge well. Anyway, we got the panel made. fits pretty good for, you know, first test fit. We're just going to do the best we can with it. It's not going to be perfect by any stretch of anybody's imagination. So let me go ahead and get this cut out, get this fit in, and see what we got. What I did is I mimicked this piece here so that all we have to do is transfer this over to that side. This up in here, and we have at least a form that we can build off of. We rust reform what's there and fiberglass something. I know it's a hack way to do it, but I have no way of recreating that design anyway. I'm just going to cut this out here, and we're going to put the patch panel in, and we're going to recreate this with fiberglass. All right, before we get started, we're going to go ahead and hit this with a rust reformer. I had to make this little divot here, this little crease. It kind of goes in and fades out. I think it matches up pretty good now. Well, I do apologize for the change in video quality. It would seem that the GoPro 8 that I bought 4 months ago has decided not to work anymore. We're back to using the camera that I paid a fraction of the money that I paid for that GoPro. It's just too bad you can't get quality anymore. I think a lot of things like electronically and appliances are designed to fail after a certain amount of time, so you are forced to keep buying, unfortunately. So we're going to have to put up with a little lesser video quality. I hope you guys don't mind. What we're going to do today is get these panels welded in, get them body worked, get the inner fenders and the firewall painted. We're just going to see if we can get this thing finalized, at least the engine bay finalized. Get everything bolted together so we know it fits right. All right, so before we do the panels, our new short water pump has arrived. Let's take it out and make a comparison. If you look at it like that, you can see that it is definitely shorter. Hopefully this will give us enough clearance to get that electronical fan in there. I'm hoping. If it's not, I'm not sure what we're going to do. Well, that's not good. We seem to be hitting right here. May have to cut this off. I don't want to lose the entire timing tab, but this piece here, it's got to come out. Well, we got it on there, but as I suspected, we're going to need a different pulley. I guess we're jumping online and trying to find a small block short water pump pulley. The way it goes, fellas, it's always something. So this is what you got to look forward to if you're going to do one of these things. So let's get back to putting our panels on. All right, we've got both panels made. Coat of mud on each one. We got our engine bay somewhat painted. Started doing a little spraying in there. No, it's not perfect. It was never meant to be. So it'll work out well for what we need it for. A little more work to do on this core support. We got to waller out these holes on both sides because it wants to sit a little wonky on the holes for some reason. We'll get that core support on here and we'll get it bolted together and we'll see what we got. So we do have our piece that we took off of the other side, our pattern if you will. We're going to have to try to recreate this somehow, and I'm kind of at a loss as to what to do. So it's going to go right there just like that. I do have some plumber's putty. Make a casting in our plumber's putty of this thing here, and then some old JB Weld epoxy. Mix it up, pour it in there, let it harden. Sounds like a plan to me. I do want to get this core support in, get the radiator back in it, and now that we've got the short water pump, see if we got enough room for that fan. We probably should do that sooner than later. So, all right, we got our core support back in, got the radiator back in, and I guess it's now the moment of truth. Come on, baby, do me right. Let's see what we got here. Oh, baby, look at that, huh? Now, I'll tell you what, though. That pulley is going to be right there. I still don't think we got enough room. That's real tight. If we could trim a little bit of that off, we might be okay. But I don't know. But once we get the bolts on that thing, I still don't think there's enough room. We're going to be up the creek, as they say. I guess it was worth a try, huh? I don't think the mechanical fan is going to work because I think the trans cooler lines are going to get in the way because this thing sits up higher than it normally would. Let me just stick it on. Let's just stick it on there and see what happens. Well, yeah, it's going to hit the trans cooler lines. Ooh, just it's going to hit the bottom of the outlet too. I mean, just barely. Nothing says we couldn't trim some of these off. Hey, I'm getting desperate. You know what I mean? I do have that we pulled off the S10. I think this is supposed to be a power steering cooler, but would it be possible to put this in its place for a transmission cooler? I don't know. Guess we're not going to know until we try, right? So that is a possibility. We could just buy a like an aftermarket one to go on the front here. I'm thinking we try to run with this mechanical fan. It's awful close to the pulley too. I mean, it is like right there. It is right there next to the pulley. We need to have it need to be almost out to the end of that nub. One way or another, we're going to get something in there. At this point, I don't really care what it is, but one of these two things will work. I think we're going to try the mechanical fan first, and if that's a big no-go, then we'll try to adapt the electronical one. I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. I know bodywork is not very exciting. Believe me, I don't want to be doing it, but it's something that we got to do. So next week we're going to be doing more bodywork. We're going to be tackling these just atrocious fenders here. I mean, we're going to attempt to do something with them. We're going to try to recreate these fenders from a picture. That'll be fun. I want to stick around for that, I'm sure. Also, floor pans. Next week we're going to attempt to make our own floor pans. Not attempt, we're going to do it. Whether they turn out like crap or not, I don't know. But floor pans next week and fenders. So I guess that'll do it. I do want to say this too. If you know anybody that's interested in an old Willys frame, I have the rolling chassis for sale that came out from underneath this thing. The Super Hurricane engine, which is not stuck. It almost ran on the first video, I think. That'll go with the chassis. I have the transfer case, the transmission, the steering box. Pretty much everything that came out of this Willys is for sale. You can check it out on Facebook Marketplace. I am open to trades. If you know anybody that would be interested in it, send them my way if you would. I'd appreciate it. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Until next week, man, take it easy.